And here we go. State Class 5A football from the Metrodome. Channel 12 Sports presents the semifinals as the Section 6 champion Armstrong Falcons take on the Section 1 champion Lakeville Panthers. And hello again, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock. And a great season for Armstrong. Bill, just one defeat so far, and Lakeville coming in as probably the favorite of the Final Four at 12-0. And go left side, and this time much better job defensively for the Falcons as Rosenberg comes up to make the stop on Joe Newgren, who plays kind of a halfback slot back spot, and pickup of a couple here for the Panthers.
This Panther offense is very, very balanced. They've got tremendous passing and tremendous running. As we see the sweep being shut down here by Armstrong for a gain of 2. That was no exception. They have moved the ball nearly unimpeded down the field.
And have used up nearly half the quarter, and Armstrong jumping. This looks like it'll be our first line here for Lakeville. Go to Callender, and he will power his way in for the touchdown. Lakeville, an impressive opening march. They take it right down the field, 75 yards for a swing, courtesy of this play.
We see this is just a straight ahead power play. Nothing fancy about that. One-on-one blocking up front, lead by the fullback, pick up the linebacker, and Callender powers his way in for a touch. Their best bet is to try to get Potts the ball where he can run, because that's what he does best.
2nd and 5. Knutson looking to throw. Flares. Potts will have a first down.
In 10 and 12 yard cushion, or Lucas is just going to pick him off. This is a nice deep out at 12, 13. It was a knuckleball, and it didn't really get to where he wanted it to go.
Mueller on for a 22-yard field goal try. And his kick is good, and with 2:17 to play.
On this possession, and they need to settle down and just go back to their good, consistent play that they've had for the last several weeks. But they're doing a good job. They're mixing up the run and the pass. They're throwing good passes off of their good running plays.
And there is some dispute, I thought it might have something to do with which football they're using, strangely enough.
Well, I don't know if the ball boys on this side are using Armstrong footballs or if they're using State High School League footballs. It looks like they're using different footballs, and quarterbacks for some reason get a feel for 1 or 2 footballs, and they want to keep those balls in the game, and they don't want to have anything else with the passing game.
Potts coming in motion, now goes to Pettisclaw. He's hit immediately, and he is going to be stacked up. And flags are going to fly here.
They're probably going to have an unsportsmanlike or a personal foul for dumping Pettisclaw after the whistle had finished blowing. Personal foul. Wow.
Oh, it's against Armstrong.
Somebody
fine line when the play is being blown dead, yet the ball carrier hasn't gone down, and there's Pettisclaw
right
taking
there.
a little swing.
Yep, and that's going to draw.
So 1st down and 25 now for Armstrong, and we may have a question on the down.
Well, it was called a dead ball foul.
Okay, so after the play,
yeah.
Make it 2nd and 25 then. I think they were verifying. There's Coach Thompson seeing his offense doing a great job early on, struggling just a touch back, not in as good a field position as the previous times. They'll have it at their 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Lucas, play action, plenty Incomplete. Is this going to draw a flag? No, just a good defensive play as Met and Scarnes coming up to break this one up.
You see Scarnes does a great job of getting his hand.
And Fleury deep to receive. It's a fake punt. And here's Dirksen, and looks like he'll have just enough for a first down. So Dirksen, they try to go down in 15. Armstrong again trying to overcome a penalty on this drive. A little flare out to Potts. Potts cutting back, broke through, and almost got. He was getting more than that, but it was really only about a 5-yard gain.
And Knutson had to outrun number 42. Pete Rule, as we've seen, has some very good speed, but he gets outside of Rule. And watch what happens when Danielson catches this ball. Boy, he just gets labeled right there. Bang. Number 21, the ball down.
First and goal. Knutson running option to the right, and
Touchdown.
He's there for the touchdown.
Armstrong until Knutson is past the line of scrimmage. We see right there Brock Pinata, number 76, making a really nice wall off there, and Knutson goes go away. They just are really tenacious.
Ellisted's going to keep it on the ground. And this is Callender taking it. A flag flies. Callender out to the 40, but it looks like this one will come back a ways. Possibly an illegal block in the back.
Usually, when it's thrown from that position, we're going to have a hold or an illegal block, which is exactly what it is. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty from the point of the infraction, which is at the 33-yard line. It'll bring it back to the 23. So once again, Lakeville does not turn over this year. But Callender gets hit right on the ball, right there.
Tatone knocking it loose, and then Knutson and Marcus are both there, and Marcus may have ended up with the football, but my quick math came up with. Here's Lucas throwing and looking for Fleury. Incomplete pass, and of course there is no force out rule in high school football. You must get your foot down. If you're up in the air and shoved out, it is your tough luck.
Yep. This is the high school and the college rule is the same. You have to come down with 1 foot in bounds. And if you're up in the air and you get bumped out, bang. Sorry, nice catch, no catch.
We have 1 timeout remaining.
Offense rolling before the clock starts.
2nd and 11. Lucas throwing deep down the sideline.
No.
Boy.
No.
They're going to throw the flag on Andy Krishnan as the pass was intended for
that
heading.
ball had no chance of being caught. That's a terrible call. That ball was way, way high.
But I don't believe in high school, Bill, that there is such a rule.
That's not the rule. So, catchable or not, you can't have contact. But they get a pretty good kick, even for a player with a very good leg. We've seen Mueller has a very good leg, but it's that's still a pretty good poke for any kicker.
Be a 42-yard attempt. Metz is the holder. 3 seconds to go. So barring a penalty, this will be the final play of the first half, and trying to extend a 10-7 lead here for Lakeville. Mueller's kick is stuffed. Chased down by the holder, Metz. Rosenberg on the block. Metz chased around. Official told him he had to because he had they stopped play for him. Knutson, play action, rolling to his right. Gonna throw for Roth, and incomplete. Pretty well defended. It ended up hitting Roth, but the hand
sprinted the wrong way. It looks like everybody goes to the right, and Phil Knutson goes to the left, and he says, well, I'll just drift back here where I'm supposed to be. And crowd of people and see what happens. And
that might have been a look.
He just really brings a load to tackle.
Newgren taking the handoff, breaks through a tackle, and he is in for the touchdown. Lakeville on the board again. He fake punt, and it almost worked. It's one of those plays where as we get a look at the touchdown from Newgren, looked like they had a pretty good shot at him at about the 4-yard line, but just not able to bring him down. And Newgren fights in. You see he's excited as he crosses the line. A late strip try doesn't pay off. But Armstrong was just not being used to this turf.
Yeah, the turf can grab your toes real quick.
Here's Knutson straight up the middle and into the secondary. One guy to beat. Now Knutson dragged down at the 2-yard line. A quarterback sneak that goes for...
As Phil Knutson just takes it right up the pipe. Makes a nice move right there. Fake to the right, go to the left. He gets all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Boy, they caught him off guard. Great block by Mark Schwant, the center, but more so than anything, just catching them off guard. First down, goal to go. They go to Potts, trying to jump for it. He spins, but I think he was already down.
But the ball doesn't quite get there. The ball would really stopped right about the 1.
And it's Knutson on the sneak, and this time Lakeville does a good job defensively. Ball pops loose. I think I heard a whistle, though.
Yeah.
And the whistle had sounded, and Armstrong saying touchdown. Lakeville saying, wait, it's a fumble, and I guess the call will be neither. It's going to be down right at the...
It's going to be
inside the 1.
Yep. So it'll be 3rd and goal from, oh my goodness.
Knutson was not down on the field, but his progress was stopped.
Yeah, and that, boy, that could have been called a touchdown too. You can't tell where the ball is there.
See if they'll go with the same thing again. Yes, they will. And he didn't get much of a surge at all, and Lakeville appears to have stopped him. No, touchdown. Knutson just stretches the ball. They didn't need much. 14. Get another look as Knutson is hit immediately and falls forward. But again, how do you spot these? It's awful tough. You know, you probably Lakeville feels like this shouldn't have been a TD, and you know, you could have said then. It's just hard to say.
Yeah, how do you know? You almost is like a long counter, the way they run that. And that's a very well executed play.
This time fake to Newgren and go right back to Callender, and he is into the secondary, and he has a chance to go. Riley Callender for the touchdown. 36-yard run.
And is that explosive? You know, again, they ran the same with running plays again with Callender getting through. You notice that every blue shirt in the front 7 is occupied with a white shirt. And Callender just gets the seam and then just uses his speed to get around and get into the end zone. Nice counter blocking by the left guard. That's number 64, Zach Reichel. And you see the speed and power that Riley Callender brings to the field. He is very, very tough.
Mueller will kick off again here. Potts and Scarns are deep. And it will be Potts taking it at the 10, faking the reverse, and Potts will keep it, and there's a holding call. And Potts is brought down at about the 36, but it was a hold. And
yeah, there was a very obvious hold on the run back, and that's going to bring the ball back inside the 15-yard line. His right foot, because his left foot hit inbounds.
Here's Knutson rolling out to the right, throwing it up for Potts. Oh my goodness! Potts hangs on despite being just tattooed by Burdick.
Great catch by Potts, or what? I mean, he just gets tattooed.
Well, like they say, Bill, you're going to get hit either way. You might as well hang on to it.
Yeah, we always say, you know, you want to hear the ooze. You want to hear the ooze, not the ahs. The thing that saved Jason Potts here is he didn't have his feet in the ground. His feet were off the ground. And then he's just going to run the ball again and say, okay, fine.
And there's a flag down on the play as Potts is taken down. And this one presumably going to be a hold out there.
A hold or something out there, yeah.
Right at the edge of as he cut it up there.
That's usually what you would think, yeah.
Here's Here's the 3rd and 15. Knutson firing for Dirksen. Did he catch this? Yes. Yep. Oh, it's going to be very close to the first down, but it looks like it'll be short.
Oh my goodness. I thought he got a little weak spot on that. I thought he was up to the 45 at least. But again, my eyeballs ain't very good. Now, that's a good spot. It's a good spot. It's where the ball is. I'll take that back. That linesman made a nice call right there.
1st and 10 from the Armstrong 32. Fake it to Callender. Throw over the middle. Tipped in the air and picked off. And dropped at the 20-yard line is Adam.
This is a nice play action fake, but I think Lucas would like to have that one back. He just throws it without really looking to where he's throwing it, and he didn't realize there were 2 defenders sandwiching that receiver, and the ball is tipped.
And the pass out on the flat for Danielson is incomplete. It's going to be a late hit call there.
That's a good way to get a first down.
Linterer hitting Danielson slightly after the fact there. Linterer didn't think so.
Yeah, we'll see if we see the replay. We'll maybe get a look at it, but
it wasn't extremely late. But I think what I've seen more officials have started to call this when it's obvious that the defensive back can see that the ball was dropped and he still hits him anyway. It wasn't that it was extremely late, but I think the feeling is that he should be able to see that it was gone already.
Oh, but he takes, after the ball is knocked down, he takes 3 strides and hits the guy, and the ball is clearly off to the right. So, you know, they'll give you 1 or 2, but 3 full strides into a guy that is not protected is not going to go.
From the 35, Knutson going deep downfield for Danielson. He's got it. Danielson will go for a touchdown. 65-yard strike for the Falcons, and once again they're right back in it. Danielson for 65 yards, and they've had some big passing plays this year, Bill, but generally not on throwing the ball this deep downfield. Knutson throwing a beautiful ball there, and Danielson able to get away from the one-on-one coverage of Burdick and then also break his tackle. So a great job by Danielson.
And you said earlier that the defensive backs for Lakeville weren't too concerned about the speed of the Armstrong receivers, and that's obvious. The safety was caught way up. He was trying to cheat the run, and they got burned. You know, that really isn't Burdick. Burdick is running with the receiver, but Danielson does a great.
And a good deep kick here, taken on the 5 by Heading, and he is blasted. And a flag will fly here. May have been a face mask, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to call a face mask. I thought he had the chest, so a personal foul, face mask, 15 yards.
And 2 different flags flew there. I think, Armstrong is closing in on double digits in penalties here tonight, Bill, and that's not really been characteristic of them.
No, not at all. They've been last week they were relatively penalty free. And here we'll see the look as Burdick makes the play, and he really gets this is Heading. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Yeah, Dan Forsythe really gets a grip on it.
Wrenched him good, and then actually Scarn, of course, we talked about all year, small, but they've generally been quick enough to avoid blocks. Well, tonight they're not able to do that. Here's Callender. He'll break through a tackle, and he's going to go. Yet another touchdown for Callender. No sign of stopping the momentum in sight here with the offenses.
Well, just watch Callender here. Hits the seam, breaks a tackle. Look, runs right over Scarns and London and has enough speed that nobody's going to catch him. You know, he gets enough speed that Christian, coming from his other defensive back spot, can't even make the play.
And I think Armstrong probably getting a little worn down here as well. Those guys aren't coming up to
into my own territory.
Knutson on the sneak, and I don't think he got there.
Look at the spot. The spot's up to the 31-yard line. both linesmen have it at the 31-yard line.
So
it should be close. Boy, it's going to be very close to a first down.
Got a little surge and was pushed back, but it is indeed a first down.
They're not even going to measure that?
Guess not.
Oh, Larry Thompson is very animated on the sideline over there. He's wanting a measurement because that was very close. You see,
it's funny
he gets
because
a good surge.
Normally they'll give you the. Boy, I don't know. Effort by Potts as Roth comes in motion. Fake the toss, fake the handoff, flag down, pass complete to Roth, but this is coming back. Going to be a hold on Liska in the backfield as he protected his quarterback.
Yep.
And injured on the play as well was Ryan. He was the player who was held.
For the offense, we see that looked a lot worse from the angle that the referee was looking at than it was in reality. Liska didn't really grab the break a tackle.
Firing in the flat for Danielson. Oh, and incomplete. And Armstrong furious. It appeared this hit came early.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Danielson was obviously hit before that ball arrives. I know, pretty close, but
Linner reaching his hand over the top onto the ball.
Yeah.
See this one again. Initially I thought it was an obvious penalty. Here it looks a little closer.
He's got his right hand pushing in the back. If he's pushing in the back, that's going to.
We'll take over on the 42 now. First down and 10. Only 4:13 to go. Go to the ground to Callender. Schmidt hits him immediately. He still fights forward for a yard or two, and now we're going to get a flag.
Yeah. This official heard enough. He heard one thing too much from one of the coaches on the sideline. We're going to get a 15-yard penalty on the Lakeville
Armstrong.
The Armstrong bench here.
Armstrong has battled back time and time again to keep pulling this to a close game, but they've just been unable to stop Lakeville tonight.
And as we thought at the beginning, it's the Lakeville running attack that is just amazing. They're blocking.
And this kick booted deep to Scarnes at the 6. Scarnes going to throw it back across field here to Potts. And Lakeville was fairly ready for it here, and Potts keeps on moving. Breaks through an arm tackle, still on his feet. Potts fighting his way out to the 32-yard line.
You talk about being a pinball. Jason Potts ran an awful lot, bounced off of probably 10 players before he was brought down. And he makes a very interesting 10 or 12-yard return. As we watch Jason here, he goes to his left. I guess I'll go to my right. Go back over here, bounce around here, bounce off of this guy, spin here, turn back up, go to my right, go to my left. Seen him throw all year long, and certainly a lot more than we've seen him throw.
Pitch to Potts. He's going to throw back toward Knutson. Throws it up for grabs and almost intercepted. A great effort that time by Linnerer.
Corner on the right side here. They just weren't fooled by this at all.
Lakeville will be playing in the Prep Bowl for the 5th time. They're trying to win their 3rd title. They were 1990, 48 of Lakeville Hill. Under a minute to go as Armstrong keeps on coming, and the pass complete to Danielson, I think, or is it? Let's see, is it a completion?
It's a completed pass.
And then he's down. Timeout on the field. Yeah, you look at it here, and there's no way these guys are supposed to be so close
Yeah.
together. Ubani almost breaks this one up, but Danielson catches it and just down before that ball kicked free, and he was hurt. I think that was part of the reason the ball came loose, is that he was grabbing at an injured area. And see some of the Armstrong guys down there kind of hugging each other now. They kind of realize this one is going to go Lakeville's way, but it doesn't take away from the outstanding season they've had.
Only 4, even though in a loss, and only their second loss of the year if Armstrong scores before the end of the game.
Going to run it with Bursch, and he will trot on in for the touchdown from 4 yards out. So Armstrong, one last 28 as you get another look. Well blocked up front here. Of course, some subs in there for both of these clubs a little bit, but Bursch trotting on in.
And with 16 successes.
And they'll take a knee here, and that will be the final play of this contest and the final play of a fantastic season for the Armstrong Falcons, as they are going to conclude this run to the Dome with an 11-2 mark. And Lakeville will move into the Prep Bowl with a mark of 13-0. And Bill, as we said, I don't think that, I mean, obviously anytime you lose at the end of the season is disappointing, but their play tonight was not a disappointment.
No, not at all. And we're talking with Derek Fisher before the game, and we just, we were talking about, hey, play hard and have fun. And these kids never don't play hard. So, and I hope they had fun tonight, because this has been a lot of fun for me to watch them play this season. And they certainly have provided some inspiration for a lot of people, because they were undersized, outmanned all through the whole season, and they came up with 11 great victories, and nobody's going to ever take that away from them.
And Lakeville showing why they're undefeated here with an impressive outing. So we will come back to wrap things up for our final game for the Falcons this year. It's Lakeville 38, Armstrong 28. We'll be right back. Do it from the Metrodome here in the State Class 5A semifinals.